So we're going to try to stay serious. It's not going to happen, but we're going to
got
try really hard.
Immediately, it's not going to happen.
So what are y'all's first musical memories? Like, what is the first thing you remember music-based?
I feel like yours is a really good story about this. Yours is super sweet.
Man, my first musical memory that changed my life forever, when I was in the Navy, there was a little band I was in, a little terrible punk rock band in the Navy. And whenever we pulled into port, the USO would find us shows in these ports. Mm-hmm. So the first show I ever played out live in any kind of capacity with a band was in Singapore. On the top of a mall, everything in Singapore is up. Real estate's all high, it's like Hong Kong, 20-story mall. At the top of it was this bar called The Wall.
Okay.
And our terrible ass band played a show there. The USO set it up, and and it was all the locals in Singapore. Man, they went nuts. It was so like my first live show was like slam. We were an American band playing American music. We were horrible, but they didn't care in Singapore. And I think my feet came off the ground. And when that show ended, I walked out of that bar. So you're at the top of this. So sorry, man. This 20-story building, right? There's this little bar on it right here. We walked out, man. I was on such a high from the music, and it's the crowd's response. And I walked out, and I remember looking, out over all of Singapore, just top of this mall, and I went, "That's what I'm doing with my life, music." It's like that moment changed. They went so. We were awful, but we were an American band playing American music. They lost their minds. And I walked out and looked over Singapore from the top of this mall, and I went, that's what everything else in my life, all my other plans went away, dropped everything. I was like, this is what I'm doing in my life. I have to chase that feeling over it. So
not just the music, but traveling the world.
The travel is
the biggest.
My first live show was in Singapore.
That's
so
crazy.
Not to diminish that at all, but your absolute first musical memory was not that. It was.
Yeah, he doesn't remember before Singapore.
It was your mother singing.
Oh,
and
my
your
mother singing. But
when she
I thought you were
sang,
talking about when I played. My mother.
It's,
So when I was growing up, my mother was a struggling country singer. She never gained any traction or anything, but my mother sounded just like Patsy Cline, would you say?
And in fact, when you heard Patsy Cline,
when I heard Patsy Cline, when I was a younger person,
Shakira's our new host.
Hey guys,
when I heard my mother
welcome
sing,
to this.
When I heard Patsy Cline on the radio, I thought it was my mother. So when that, because my mother could sing and sound just like that. So when I was a small child, 5, 6 years old, I thought, why, that was my mother singing. But wrong. When I grow up and find out, that, no, that's Patsy Cline, and your mother was infatuated with Patsy
So I'll
Cline.
go through both of mine, which was the absolute first, like with you, with your mother, was my dad. He's technically my stepdad, but he's my dad. He raised us from the time we were 6 years old. So he's my dad. Whenever my mom wanted like a weekend away from the kids, he would tell us we had to have clean house. That's what he called it, clean house for the weekend. And he would blast Miles Davis.
Wow.
For hours on end. And I grew up hating Miles Davis because of that. And then when he passed, I learned very quickly to love Miles Davis. Just
Crazy
because of those
change,
memories.
Yeah, nothing makes you want to clean the house.
Absolutely. I was just like, oh my God, I would. And at the moment, you're right. I was like, I'll do anything to get out of here. I just want to mop and sweep, and I hate Miles Davis. But in the end, it was like, oh my God, I love Miles Davis and everything that he brought to my life. My first musical memory, like that I was in adulthood and could remember, I saw Willie on stage playing Junior Brown, Hung It Up.
God.
This
And
Willie, not Willie Nelson.
this Willie. I saw him on stage at a dive bar in Marietta playing Hung It Up, and it just changed my life, and I'll never forgive him for it.
Junior Brown.
Yeah.